the screen. So please start, Alia. This is the means code. I will say, please start Alia and please stop Alia, then you can do accordingly. Okay, so please start Alia. We are about to start. Now today we are going to discuss something which is really not only important, but it is the eye-opening information which is related to the cybersecurity. And these are the stats which are taken from the market and our sources, as we mentioned here, that is the means at the bottom left corner. This is the SSL store, and I may recommend you so you can even just go to visit this store regularly and try to means read the very informative information about the cybersecurity, because this contain information which is based on the real industrial data. It is not only on the data or the assumptions on the survey basis, but that is with the very strong references and very strong industrial data. So they are means normally publishing time to time related to the cybersecurity to keep the things updated. So for 2019, because in 2020 we are still we didn't finish the Q2, so these reports are normally coming in Q3 or in Q4. So this report is for 2019, so we can consider that this report is the latest report, and they name it as the 8080 eye-opening cybersecurity statistics. Yeah, this is true. This is really an eye-opening. And the moment we will start, you will see that why we are calling this is eye-opening and why they are calling as an 8080. So they collected the main information and then grouped them into 80. It could be more, and for sure it is more, but they just group them based on their priority and importance in 80. So this all information is related to the cybersecurity for completely about the globe, for small industries and for the giant industries, for the individual persons, for the different countries, and for the different cyber crimes, and for the different cyber challenges and cyber security issues, and for all of the wireless cybersecurity problems. So why we are discussing now at this stage, because before that we were discussing about what is the wireless security, what is the wireless network, and how are the things, and we were trying to understand it is initial basis, and then we were trying to understand it how it's working. Then we discussed what are the different algorithms and mechanisms, how we are handling them, and now we are trying to go up more in depth to see that how much this is the necessity of our life and our today's age. And on top of that, this is also we need to see that if suppose we are booming and grooming ahead for the 60 and for the 70 and for the looking forward. So again, these are the challenges what we are facing at this stage, which is 2019. So what would be the further challenges can be there? So how we will be addressing them and how much we are ready for that. So in other words, we can say that this will give you a highlight, a very important highlight about the cybersecurity, and maybe it will help you to decide your area of expertise for your future. So with your permissions, we can go to the second slide. So the next slide, what it is saying that today we are going to discuss about the cybersecurity statistics. But those statistics are on real industry and government databases and authorized databases. These statistics are not based on the assumptions. So we can see that based on these eye-opening 8080 eye-opening issues and challenges, what we are facing is already with the cybersecurity. So he is trying to explain at this from this figure that you can see that the cybersecurity is become a source for the criminals who are earning a lot of money using the different means means from the different internet applications. So the cybersecurity, those people who are the criminals, they found this is the easy way. They found this is the rich and great source. So they are getting a lot of money. What he is trying to pretend from this picture. Going ahead to the next slide, you can see from here that number one. Why it is number one? Because we mentioned that it is the 8080 eye opening. And this is with the reference what we provided already there. So from the SSL store, this all of the information is taken. Now you can see from here, the number one he is suggesting, and he is not suggesting, but he's telling us that this is the 1.5 trillion cyber crime economy. It's not a billion. It's not a million. It's a trillion. So it means 150 billion of US dollars is the cyber crime economy at this stage. At this stage means this is for the 2019. So at this stage, if we compare right for now, maybe we can expect that this is the 2 trillion or even more than 2 trillion like that. So this is the cyber crime are grown, and the economy from the cyber crimes, the people they are getting the money that goes up to 1.5 trillion for the year of 2019. That's why what he was trying to explain to us from this figure, that this become a very rich source of earning, getting money illegally for the cyber criminals. Okay, go ahead. Now, what he is suggesting, or what he is saying, that what 1.5 trillion cyber crime amount for the people, it become easy to earn. He is suggesting, and he found that these platforms are the very popular platforms which are helping to the cyber people, cyber criminals, to get this done, this 1.5 trillion, and it is increasing day by day. So if you focus on these platforms, so you can see that most of them, or we can say almost all of them, they are the social networks. We can start from Facebook, from the YouTube, from the Twitter, from the eBay, from the WhatsApp, from the Amazon, from the LinkedIn. Most of them you can see that they are actually belongs to these social networks, and the Google Plus, and so on and so on. So he marked them based on the real statistical data that these are the platforms, they are helping to the hackers, making them enable, making them possible to earn this much amount, to make this much amount, 1.5 US dollars trillions in a year as a cyber crime budget. Now, what happened that is still we are discussing about point number one. We didn't go for the point number two. That 1.5 trillion cybercrime, what are the major databases which breaches? So, sorry. So the point is, we even as a technical person, we think that those things what we are using, they are safe enough, but it is actually not like that. The facts are not like that. What I mean, you can see that in that case, particular case, he is suggesting us that just see and imagine about the giant companies. They had the very severe type of the data breaches. So you can see from there, what are the companies, including your JP Morgan, including your Facebook. So these are the very giant companies known, including the Uber, and major breaches for the data. 3 billion of the users' data was compromised by for the Yahoo. Everybody consider Yahoo that it is the most secure and most common and most important. What about eBay? So you can see 145 million users were compromised by eBay. So in the same way, you can see about the other companies which are very much considered to be safe and very much considered in a huge volume. Why? The reason is because the hackers, they try to focus for those type of companies which are giant, which are having the more data, so they can get the things done from the even one company. So you can see even about the other companies as well. Now we're jumping to the second point. The second point is saying that 300 billion cybersecurity market is expected increase from 2019 to 2024 to 2024. This is what the global market insight is saying, that this much number of amount will be keep increasing for the each year, and maybe it can be means the more, because this is the data provided based on the prediction based on the 2019 data, but we don't know about exactly for the data for the 2020. And if suppose the 2020 is even more higher, then it will be even more higher, and so on. So now you can see from here that your US means government, they have the cybersecurity budget for 15 billion. So for the 2019, so you can see this is the White House budget for the cybersecurity. And that budget is increasing yearly. It is not decreasing. It's not the same. It is increasing means yearly. It means that they are facing even more and more challenges. To overcome those challenges, they are increasing the budget every time. So you can see that even your White House, even those government institutes and your Yahoo and your Facebook and your eBay and these, all of the, either they are commercial companies, either are the government sectors, either on the other sectors, they all are actually under risk, under attack, under the issues. That's why they are increasing this budget to try to save their operations. Now, the fourth point, what it is saying, that the 9% of increase in the cybersecurity spending by all. So you can see the market summary is saying that every company they are increasing at least an average of the 9% in all over the globe. So you can see from the West Europe, from the Central and East Europe, from the Far East and China, India. So none of the area, none of the part is actually what we can say that it is safe. So it is not a question that any particular part or any particular area or region is targeted by the cyber criminal people. Yeah, there is a difference. So you will be finding there is a difference that means particularly few of the countries they are under attack. Why? This depend on the economy of those countries, and this depend on the users of those countries. Because hackers, they are targeting to those countries where they can find a lot of money and easy money. So that's why they are targeting to the different things as well. Now, the number 5, what it is saying, the small businesses who are investing for their companies, small businesses have very small amount of their budget, but normally on an average, they are investing less than $500 per year in cybersecurity products. So the small companies, even they are on risk. They are also spending their money to keep them safe. But there is no guarantee, there is no surety about being safe from this. That's why what we are saying that these are the eye-opening issues. Now, especially women's, the very likely and the favorite profession for the women's previously from the past, if we can see that they like the job for the designing, they like the job for the medical, and they like the job which suits to them more with their patients. But now this is due to the boom of this industry. So the women's, more than the 20% of the women, they are anticipated to go for this particular cyber security area to provide the security, not for the criminal side activities. So this is how the job sector is increasing as well, yearly, which is for the men and women, but this is the only 20% only represented for the women. So you can see from here that the 20% of the women in the cybersecurity force will be there in the blue team. I hope that you know the concept for the red team and the blue team. So the blue team, it means those who are trying to save the organizations. So this is how the job opportunities are increasing. Why budget is increasing? Why targets are increasing? So the both paths are increasing in a parallel. So the cyber criminals are increasing. So those people who are in the blue team, who are responsible to save the organizations and individuals, their demands is also increasing. So they are very much directly proportional. So the budget is increasing to save the cybersecurity things. The same is budget is increasing, and the jobs are increasing for those people who can use those budget and can save the organizations. Now, the question: if suppose you are in my friend, this is because of the MCO, I cannot able to see your faces. If suppose I'm in front of you, then maybe I don't go to this slide, but I can ask you before to go to this slide. That, do you know that we have very much sophisticated systems and so many things, and whenever we have our organizations are under attack, we can come to know, because the moment we means identify, then only we can mitigate it. So how we can come to know and how long it takes a time. So just see, this will be an eye-opening for you. The average time is the 49.6 day period, which is means any organization or any of your software or any of your machine or any of your equipment is going to be breached. This is the average time. After that, the means professionals, they are come to know that this is means this data or this software or this machine or this server is breached. This is the means an average. So you may not say that means if suppose the attack is there and we come to know. So it means there are so many passive attacks which are happening, and the companies, they are not having the capabilities to know that exactly. So if suppose the hacker get a time of 1 day or 1 minute or 1 hour, that's more than enough. They can play with our data with the organizations. But what happened if suppose at the average time, it is means mentioning us that 49.6%, 49.6 days, sorry, not percent. So we can say that it is almost 50 days. It is almost close to 1.5 months, and we can say it is 2 months. So almost 2 months is required to just to know that the data breach is there, and then maybe we need a more time to know that what type of breach is there, and then we will be able to mitigate the issues. So this is a big challenge. This is a big challenge. So don't you consider the cybersecurity is something, it's a simple like this. No, that's why we can say that this industry and these things are at the risk, and that's why they are investing a lot to keep the operations running. Now what happened? And 9 number point, they're saying that 70% increase or more than 70% of the cryptocurrency transactions are happening for it. Now the question is, when we are saying that the 1.5 trillion budget for the cyber criminals, so why not we are able to track them? If suppose cyber criminals, they are doing something, they are asking for a money, for a ransom, we can pay them ransom. So the moment they hit the account to pay this account, so it means we can grab them, we can know that who is this person, so we can track them. No, but what happened? They are using the digital currencies. Okay, I hope that you are aware about digital currencies like Bitcoins and other. There are so many different digital currencies, more than I believe at the moment, and just estimated, I believe there are more than means the between 10 to 20 different digital currencies are there. So they are using the digital currencies from where we cannot even know. It is hard at least to know that who is means at the back end and how they are doing and how they are playing this one. So this is the way they are trying to means bring the harm to the organizations. Now what happened? The security breaches means they are increasing 11%. Okay, so the security breaches have increased over the past year. If we compare the 2019 to 2018, we can see that the security breaches are increased by more than 11%. So this is how you can see from means this, that how much these security breaches are creating a problems for us and what type of attacks they are bringing. So from this, if I just make a pointer for you, so this will be the more easy and more good for you. So you can see in malware, it is 11% is increased. In web-based attacks, 13%. So denial of service, 10%. The malicious means insider is 15%. And the ransomware is the 12%. The botnets are the 12%. The stolen devices are 12%. The malicious code, which is the secure software code, this is the section, it goes to there. That is the means, this is the increase. This doesn't mean that the 9% it is. This is the increase from the previous year. So altogether, as an average, we can say that more than 11% of increase is there where our data is going to be breaches for the different type of the attacks. So these are the attacks, very popular attacks, which are being used by the cybersecurity criminals to attack the organizations, and they are trying to increase their economy, the cybercrime economy, which is the 1.5 trillion what we discussed. Now the data breaches for the past 5 years, this more than 11% we discussed, that is actually for compared to the year number 2018 to 2019. But if we just see the means real data, and if we just compare for the last 5 years, then you will be amazed that the security breach is 67% is increased. What we compare the 4 years back, Now it is 67% is increase. So this is, you remember, while we are moving with the so many different devices, with the so many data bandwidth, and with the so many other smart applications, they are actually opening the chances of the breaches. So you will see in these facts, maybe we'll discuss later, that once the IoT your device is going to be online, and it actually requires only 5 minutes to be hacked, only 5 minutes to be compromised, only 5 minutes to be breach its security. Only 5 minutes are required for your Internet of Things devices. So most of the scientists are even not happy with this security. So they are saying this is the Internet of trouble. It's not the Internet of Things, but it is the Internet of trouble. So the people are working to how to make it secure and safe, but that is the right at this stage, this is the situation. So you can see the 67% of the increase is there. Now, what happened about these small businesses? Yeah, for the small businesses, they are also not safe. More than a 43% of increase of the security breaches and cyber crimes and other issues related to the cybersecurity are there with the small industries. Why? We are normally, we consider that the small industries are the less affected, the individuals are less affected because the cyber criminals activities, they are doing for two reasons: to breach, to get your data, and then they use your data against you, or they try to use your data against you to get the money, because their target and their focus, the main focus, more than 80% focus, is to earn the money, to get the money. So even the small industries, they are not safe at all. Now, ransomware, because that's what we discussed, that they are doing this not for the free, but they are doing this just to get the money. And getting the money is they are using the digital currencies. And how they are getting the money, the concept in technological term, or one of the type of the attack is known as class of attack. We cannot say it's a type of attack. It's a class of attack, and then because it has multiple more types in the ransomware as well. So one of the type of attack, which is the ransomware attack, it occurs. This is the one most important tool for hackers. They do this and then they get the money from that. That's why what we are saying, that it is the budget is increasing from 1.5 trillion, and the increase is there for every year. So what do you think? If you are not under attack, then you can feel that you are lucky. And most of you and most of your machines, maybe they are already under attack for the botnet or something, under the passive attack, but you are not knowing. So you are not knowing, so you are relaxed, you are comfortable. Why? Because you see, for the ransomware, the attacks are happening after each 40 seconds. The new attack is launched in 24 hours after each 14 seconds. And this is the data for 2019. Maybe now we are not sure that maybe this attack is going to be happen even less in 10 seconds, after each 10 seconds or 5 seconds even. So you remember I told you, and we discussed the about the DDoS attack, and I show you the real time of the data, so you can notice that how many DDoS attacks are happening around the globe. So this is the major source, and this is the official annual cybercrime report, which is known as the ACR, which mentioned that based on the data, that this will be the ransomware attack is normally after each 14 seconds there will be the new attack. Now cybercrime, they are doing the attacks. One is that they do go for attack, breach your data. They just breach your data and take the data, and then they demand for the money. Okay, this is the one way. But the other way is they are doing this and they are damaging your data. Damaging your data, it means that most of the data you are not able to get it back. So that means the breach, they are going to damage it. So the cyber crime damages itself reaches to the 6 trillion annually. So you don't consider this 6 trillion amount with the 1.5 trillion, which is the cyber crime criminal people who are earning. Okay, that's known as the cyber criminal economy. But this is the 6 trillion is not going into anyone's pocket, not to the industry, not to the owner, not to the cyber criminals, but this is the loss which is being borne by the individuals, by the small organizations, SMEs, and by the giant organizations, which is almost, you can see, if we can see the 1.5 trillion is cyber criminal budget economy, not the budget economy, then we can see that this is the 4 times more they are also bringing the damages. So you just see if all together, then you will be able to see that it is altogether amount is going to be almost the 8 trillion, 7.5 and 8 trillion, which is not a small amount, which is the amount which may we consider more than the budget of the 10 small countries or 10 means average countries. So this is the more than the budget of the 10 countries around the world. So this is how what we are saying that these are the things which are really means shocking, and that's why we mentioned that these are the things which are eye-opening. We didn't say that these are the cyber criminal statistics, but these are the eye-opening because these are the things which are means even what we are thinking beyond our imagination, beyond our means thoughts. So you can see from here that the ransomware is increasing and having the money and earning means for the cyber criminals, which is the 20 billion annually. So the same cost will reaches to the 11.5 billion annually, and this year and the 20 billion per year by 2021. So by 2021, for 2019, it was the 11 point something amount billion. This is only for ransomware. This is only for the one type of the attack. You remember, if we just go back, so you can see from here, from this particular slide, that there are so many, and even most of the others we didn't mention here. So from these, where we say that the ransomware is increasing, you remember here, the 21% annually, a high increase. So what he is mentioning here, that this will be reaching to the 20 billion by 2021. So this is the only one means class of attack. What about the other? So everyone, what about the DDoS? What about the phishing? What about the man-in-the-middle attack? What about the other things what we just discussed? And there are so many other which are there. So this is a huge world, and how these criminals, they are involved. They are trying to means fetch and get the breach the information, and they already done, like what we discussed about the Facebook, or like what we discussed about the Yahoo and eBay and other things. So now what happened? This is means costing cyber criminals, and these things are costing to the organizations. So the average cost for the cyber means crime for any of the organization is to be known as 30 million. This is for the average level of the organization. So it means annually their budget should be 13 million apart. A separate budget should be for to protect them for the cyber criminals. They might be able to means loss their means go for the damages. So altogether we can say that this is the minimum amount, which is not a something small amount for any organization. So if we just go ahead, we can see that organizations, they are purchasing the tools, okay, and the cybercrime tools and kits. So what happened? The cybercrime and tools can be purchased as a little from the $1 of the amount from the marketplace, and it goes to the means cost higher. But when we go for an average organization, we can say that each and every organization, they are required to purchase the different tools. The tools to analyze, the tool to scan, the tools to mitigate, the tools to means find out the issues, the tools like antiviruses, the tools like the firewalls, the tools like to keep them secure, and so many things. That's what we are covering. So these all things are the basic requirements for all of the organizations. Now, like you remember, we discussed that this is means around the globe. None of the country is safe from these issues. But which country is having the high risk or high number or high ratio of the attacks? So you can see the US is the one which is the under attack. United States hold the first place in the ranks of for what the countries that they are targeted, they are the target for the cybersecurity attacks. This is the means report which is generated by the Norton Security, not by means me or not by someone else or not by any general person, but this is from the Norton Security based on means their database, because their services, the people they are using the Norton. So whenever the attacks are there, so they are keep updating and managing their databases. So based on that statistical data, they are mentioning the most means attacks, number of attacks, they are the United States. We cannot say that this is the means 100% correct figure, because this can give us the idea, because this is the only part which we are getting from the Norton security. What about the other security companies? There are so many different companies, they are serving in the different part and the regions of the world. So they also are there, they are also detecting. So maybe this number is increased much, much, much. So you can see from here, United States is the number one. Then the second is the India, which is the 17%. And then the Japan and Taiwan and Ukraine and South Korea and so on. So because we can see that this is the targeted for the people from where either they can get money, either they can get easily in. So the ultimate goal is to how to earn the money and how to get the money and the budget. Now, 12 breaches results in the 100 million exposed to sensitive data. From the past years, number of the breaches is means in hundreds and thousands. But he's saying that if we just counted the 12 breaches, okay, for the data, that 12 breaches even can explain us for the 2018 that they exposed the 100 million sensitive records. 100 million of the user data. 100 million is something very big number. So this was exposed to just from the 12 different attacks. So he will discuss about those attacks as well. Now in the American, the people who are exposed to the fraud for the cybersecurity and other things, it is 60%. This is from the general public. And this is based on the public who means come under attack and then they report it to the government officials. Based on that data of their population, 60% of people are means affected. Maybe 5 or 10% those people are, which are from the remote areas. Somehow, we are not sure, maybe they even don't report it about that. So those people are not the part of this one. So you can see the rest of the people, maybe they are very young, they're very child, they are not using. So 60% is a very, very big number. So this is again the report by the means American Institutes of CPA. Not means only based on the survey or not only estimation or the prediction. So this is, you can see that how much it is the means the people, they are under risk. So the 60%, that's why we said that the American peoples, they are the more under attack. Now you can see from here that 23% of Americans are cybercrime victims. 60% they are under attack, but how many out of them? 23 out of them, they are affected. Means they affected, they lost their data, they paid the money and blah, blah, blah like that. But the rest of the percentage, they are under attack, but somehow they means got safe or some other way around. Now, as a people, as a technical people, we think that, oh, no problem, that we are secure while we are using means the huge and giant companies. Hey, I'm using the Twitter, I'm using the means the Amazon, I'm using the Dropbox, I'm using the Google Drive. So maybe these are the something, I'm using the Amazon, so maybe these things are safer, so there is no issue. No, it's not the fact. The fact is, you can see that 31% of the cyber security professional organizations who are claiming to means provide you the secure, but they are victim under the cyber attacks. So your Yahoo is not safe, Dropbox is not safe, Google Drive is not safe, Amazon is not safe, Twitter is not safe. All of your social media, you remember the platforms, what we say that the most attractive platforms, they are not safe. So nothing is safe. So be careful. Okay, that's why we have to be careful at how we can handle. Now, the reported cybercrime victims only 10 to 12% of total. This is the assumption based on the studies and the research. They are saying that the people who are under victim for the cybersecurity, from that number of the people, only 10 to 12% people are on an average around the globe, they only report that this thing is happening to them. Most of the people, they don't know even, and most of the people, they actually means don't report that what happened to them. Now imagine, in all of the lectures, we always discuss that the trained user, our educated user, are the users to how to use the means internet resources and the internet world. That is the major part to avoid these attacks. So now from this you can understand that how these things are happening and how we can be able to means reduce these numbers. Going ahead, 76% of the organizations and the business were under the phishing attack. You know, the phishing attack is the number one most means in frequency of the attacks around the globe. People keep sending the emails. So you are probably you are receiving emails on a daily basis, so many emails on a daily basis. Then you got the prize, you got the immigration, you got this much, and you got the lucky winner, then blah 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 blah. Please don't you go for that. And sometime even you will receive the emails, hey, your password, half a password they can expose to you is this, so come to the business and talk to me and give the money. So as we discussed already, please don't blackmail yourself. I mean, be blackmailed by those people to yourself. So be careful, okay? Try to ignore, try to use the all policies what we discussed to means keep changing your password, keep secure, keep safe, and not to use so many data and not to expose yourself to the social networks and these things. The much exposure, much chances of the under attack. I hope that you understand this point. Now, the next point is 33 billion record will be stolen by 2023. 100 million was already done, but now 33 billion is expected to be exposed by 2023. So you just see that what is the ratio? Where is the 100 million and where is the 33 billion? So in other words, we can say that if someone is claiming that your data is safe and secure, so at least I can smile that what he is saying, this is not fact. And you as a technical guy, you also know that it is not safe. You feel that your data is safe while it is in Google Drive? No, you already know this. You feel that your data is even safe with the Norton security? No, not at all. Okay, so the data breaches are everywhere. Now you can see that 146 billion records will be exposed in the data breaches. Okay, by 2023. This is not a one record or two record or 100 record or million record, but these are the 146 billion files of the records will be exposed by 2023. We are in 2020. So this is something really alarming. So what it is, 88% of the companies with the greater than the 1 million folder, they don't limit access. So we are going back to the same point. You remember we just discussed that the trained user is our asset, so they can means help to reduce these attacks. So now what is the reality in this world, even not for the users, but just see about the companies and organizations. They are saying that 88% of the companies, this means the small industries, medium level industries, and the giant level industries, including all of them, 88% is a very big number. So what they are saying that the one means million of the folders, they don't limit access. It means they are not knowing the importance of this one. So you remember that we say that someone, if suppose we want to control any new price coming, we have to give them the privileges. So we may not means give the extra privileges. So this is already done. So you can access the folders. So now this is the easy for the cyber crimes. So cybercrime, those people who are the hackers, they are not means rocket science, that they are very, very, very much means intelligent. But our systems, our users, our process, our policies, they are weak enough. That's why it becomes easy for them to means play with us. So that's the one of the example of that's what we quoted here. 41% of the companies allow all employees to access to the sensitivity. Why? They don't have policies. So this is the mistake and issue of the companies. Why those 41% companies? So it means those 41% companies, now they are at the open risk. Their data means there are so many vulnerabilities. They are using like this. So no, most of the organizations, they are using the open source things, and there are so many loopholes in it. For saving of cost, sometimes they are not sent for the saving of cost, but maybe they are not aware about that. So in unawareness means these things are happening, and these things are bringing a lot of the losses. So you can see from this percentage here, a 0.001% is counts because we are talking about the industry globally. So 41%, you can imagine and how much big number it will be. Okay, ransomware will be increased by next year 5 times more. So 5 times more, it means that we expected that after each 4 seconds, if going to be one attack is going to be happen. So you divide 14 by the 5, so it will be by 2 point something. So we can say on an average that by 2021, after each 3 seconds, one of the ransomware attack will be there. Now you can understand that how and why we are saying that the cyber criminal economy is 1.5 trillion and it will be increasing highly. So these are the facts around the globe, and these are the data and everything based on the facts, not from our side, not from any organization. So you notice that this is the SSL is the source which is gathering the real data. Based on that, he's trying to share. That's why we are calling it. This is the eye opening. Now, what's the next? The 48% of your UK manufacturers are means under attack of cyber. So someone may be knowing, oh, okay, US is very much advanced in technology, UK is very much advanced in technology. So you notice that USA is the most effective and UK is the 48%. So in this technology world, the things are different. Things are exposed, things are under attack. And again, we will focus again and again that we need actually the trained users. That is the need of our time. Okay, going ahead. So what's the next now? 38.4% mining industry users receive malicious email. Now he's just trying to mention what type of the industries they are receiving the malicious emails, phishing emails. And malicious email is the major source of the attackers. It is the easiest and the safest way for them. Because so many people, they don't know, somehow sometimes they open the attachment, somehow the people they can means click to the link, and one of the people is got affected, then they are able to to reach that particular organization on which domain their machine is. So this is something really very dangerous. Now 302 emails targeting public administrations. So one email on an average from 203 emails. If suppose we say the Taylor University, if suppose as a whole as a domain, including student and staff members, in 1 second, if suppose it's receiving the 203 emails or 302 emails, so it means that one of the email will be malicious email, phishing approach will be there. So what about the organizations? They are receiving the emails and the number of the thousands. So you can understand it how much this percentage is there. Now, the malicious emails per user, per industry, per year. So you can see this is in mining, 38% is increasing. The wholesale, 36%. So this is the percentage. So you at the left side, you can see the finance, the services, transportation, manufacturing, retail, agriculture, health. It means none of the industry is safe and none of the industry is away from these things. Everyone is under attack. Everyone, every industry, each industry. So these cyber criminals are everywhere in each and every part. Now, personal information of the 1.5 Indian people, you remember that we said that the next number was India, the most highest number after the USA. So the 1.5 billion Indian citizens were exposed in one of the exposed data attack. It was known as the Aadhaar data breach. So Aadhaar, you can just Google it and you can find it out. What type of the information was gone for those 1.5 billion? It was the citizens' photographs, their national ID number, their phone numbers, their addresses, their postal codes, means each and every information about one particular user from its national database. It was breached and it was accessed by all of the world. And sometimes, the hackers, they steal the data from the organizations and then they post it publicly for sale. If you need the data for Twitter, contact us. If you need the data for Facebook, contact us. If you need the data for federal means institutions, contact us. Like suppose for this data. So they try to blackmail to the institutes and to the governments to get the money because they don't know anything. They only know the money. So this just see this how much the things are dangerous at this stage. 35 is the point number 35 is the 1.16 billion email addresses and passwords are exposed. It's not the 1 million, not 100, not 1,000, okay, not a million, but it's a 1.16 billion email addresses and passwords are exposed. Hackers attack to the email servers, like they attack to the Gmail, like they attack to the Hotmail, like they attack to the Yahoo, or like they attack to any of the server, and then they expose their email IDs and passwords. Then they start playing with those people. You remember some time ago, I mentioned to you that you will receive sometime maybe the email they mentioned to you that your half of password is this, and they will be sending you the correct password, and then they said, okay, come to the business. So no need to come to the business. Okay, they cannot do anything. They cannot do anything. You can change your password. Okay, if they want to access, they cannot. But anyhow, you are not supposed to blackmail. But they can do, even there are so many options for them, they can do as well. So we have to be careful. Okay, and this is how what we can say. If suppose someone can say that something is safe and secure, some company is claiming that something is safe and secure, that is not possible. So you remember the moment we started means about your course, I said that if suppose someone is say that we are providing 100% security, that is not means possible. That's not the surety. That's not a security. So now you can see that 540 million Facebook users were exposed in the breach in 2019. It's 544 million for Facebook. So maybe the people are thinking that Facebook is safe. Okay. And another means there are so many points you can find. You just Google it, you will find the snaps, the huge and giant exposed and the attacks, they are under some names. So like suppose this is the Marriott breach exposed 500 million users accounts. So you can see that what is the Marriott means breach. You can Google it and you will find it out. So why we are discussing these all of the things, because you need to understand that how scary this area is, how much intention or how much care or how much means efforts this area is actually required, and how that's why you can understand that how much important this area for the job perspective, for the security perspective, for the budget perspective, and for all of the other things. Now, 340 million contacts were exposed in another attack. Okay, so that is called the exact data breach. So that was happened for the US consumer business. So they are for hackers, there is nothing is important. They can breach the data from India, they can breach the data from China, they can breach the data from Malaysia, they can breach the data from the UK or Malaysia. They need the money. Okay, so they need the money. That how they can get the money using the means digital currencies. Now, 200 million users' accounts were exposed via the Front9 cybersecurity vulnerability. So now you will be knowing that why you are doing the vulnerability test, why you are running the means screening, why you are doing the penetration testing. So you will be aware and knowing that this much number of the data was hacked or compromised or exposed. Okay, that's named as the Front9 user account. So if suppose you can just find it up, Google it, you will find the further more complete comprehensive detail for each of these attacks. But we are just referring here just to open your eyes. That's why we are saying, or the world is saying, these are the eye-opening attacks. Same way, 30 million users were exposed in 2018 Facebook. 540 were exposed in 2019. And in 2018, it was, means how much it was, and that is the 30 million. See, 2018, 30 million. So maybe the Facebook had a chance to, they can means make their system secure. But what happened to the 19? Now, not the 30 million, but 540 million. How many times more data is means data breach is there? Same for the Twitter. Same for the Google, same for the Amazon, same for the eBay, same for everything, same for your, means none of the company is safe. So now you can understand it why the White House is also has the budget for the security. And each and every organization and governments, they have the budget. Okay. Now going ahead, that for the IoT devices. So it is expected that by 2020, 20.4 billion IoT devices will be there. And those IoT devices are even increasing this attacks ratio with a very high speed, with a very high, what we can say with a very high, with a very higher ratio. So you remember that we discussed, I mentioned to you that any of the IoT device can be hacked easily once goes online within the next 5 minutes. And you know our current capabilities, average current capabilities around the globe, that what we are saying, that in case if suppose we are compromised, the data is compromised, we need 49.6 days to know that we are compromised, our data is compromised, we are under attack. So it means the attacker can do anything, whatever he or she want to do for the rest of the 40, the previous 49 or 50 days. Yeah. Now, the routers, means they say that accounts for the 75% of the infected devices are in IoT attacks. So the most of the ratio is increasing because of the IoT devices. So most of the people, they call it not the Internet of Things, but they call it is the Internet of Trouble. Because when we come to the security. So 75% of the IoT devices are under attack. This is something very critical. So how much? The largest DDoS attack was recorded for 1.7 terabytes per second. So you remember we discussed and I showed you the runtime DDoS attacks scenarios. So what he's saying that this is the largest DDoS attack. It was the 1.7 terabytes, and it was happened in means against the US. Okay, and these attacks are regularly happen for the different countries. So this much volume of the attack, they can stop the conversation, they can stop the process, or they can stop the operations for any system. So they can put it down, they can make it down. So it means anything can be means under control and under attack. Now what happened? The DDoS statistics you can see from this figure that the DDoS attacks are actually means could cost to the 2 millions to of the, each of the organization, and this is the data from the 17 and 18 on the monthly basis. But you already saw the live DDoS attacks scenario, so you are already aware that how much it is dangerous. Now we reach to that particular part where I was discussing with you how much time we require. 5 minutes only for any of the IoT device. Once it is online, so as a hacker, those people only required a 5 minute of time to hack it. So 5 minutes is not something very big. Okay, so from this you can understand the capabilities of making the things secure, network secure, and from here you can understand it how much safe we are or how much at risk we are. So from here again you will be able to understand that how we can be a trained user, try to save ourselves and try to save our data and our company and our organizations as well. So China is the next means in the list who was under attack for the DDoS. So most of the DDoS, you know, the DDoS attacks, we are trying to halt the operations for the system. If suppose any system or any organization they are working, we are trying to not bring a loss for them, but we are trying to stop their operations for any specific time period. So most of the attacks are happening for the DDoS, that is for the China to stop the operations. Now, Hello. Yeah, it seems that my call was dropped and I came again. Sometime it happened. So we are just continuing again. So from here you can see that the means about the DDoS we already talked about. So 1000% is the increase in the malicious PowerShell scripts as well. So most common attacks, as we discussed about the ransomware, about the PowerShell attack, about the phishing attacks, about the malicious emails, these are the things, and most of the means hardware is helping them involve that is the Internet of Things. So email responsible for spreading the virus is 92% of all malware. Email is the best source, easy source for the hackers, easy approachable for the hackers, which can help them to spread out their things. Going ahead.
Sorry, sir. You have to share your screen again.
Yeah, I'm sorry again because this is some technical issues. I don't know why it is happening again and again. So again, disconnected and came back. Thank you very much for reminding. So we are just going to share the screen again. Okay, I hope that you are able to see it. Yeah. So now you can imagine that how much things are means worsen at the dangerous level. Now for the Microsoft Office, okay, what do you think that the files which are accounted for the 48% of the all malicious email attachment in 2018? So the email, I just go back because maybe these slides were missing from the recording. So you can see that the 1,000 times or 1,000% is increase in the malicious PowerShell. And then we say that the email is yeah, once again, sorry, this is the third time we got disconnected. So I'm just again going to share with you. So here we go. Yes. We hope that these technical issues will be solved sooner. So now what happened, if we just go ahead, now the mobile ransomware also jumped 33%. Previously, the ransomware was for the organizations, for the machines, but now the mobile ransomware is also there, which is also increasing with the 33%, which is the high ratio or high rate. Now, enterprise ransomware is increased by the 12% in 2019. We already discussed that by 2021, the ransomware will be increased. How much? 5 times more. And how much was the budget for the ransomware? 11 billion for the ransomware, only for the one attack only. So you can imagine that how much it will be increasing in the upcoming years. So the scripts, different scripts which are being used by the malicious email attachments, they are increasing 47.5%. And you already remember that that is the major source of attacks. What we mean by the major source of attack, it means that 92% is actually helping to the hackers carrying the attacks through the emails. Now, what is the next? 95% of your servers are vulnerable for man-in-the-middle attack. Okay, using any mean, HTTP or HTTPS or SSL or TLS, or any means, but you can see that the 95% of HTTPS servers are vulnerable to man-in-the-middle attack. So now you can understand the equation that what we mean and how we are discussing and why. This is not we are discussing. This is again, you remember that this is the data which is based not on the survey, but this is the real data, market data, statistical data provided by the SSLS tool, and we are really thankful for them. We are thankful to them because this is based on the real data. So the 10% of the companies implements the HSTTS, which is the means HTTP strict transport security. Maybe you are not knowing about the strict transport security, but you are aware about the TLS and you are aware about the means other SLL for the security, but you are not aware about the means with the HTTP that you are aware about the strict transport security. Whatever the things are, but what is the result? We just go back so we can see here that the 95% of the servers they are means having the vulnerabilities. So if the servers they contain this much number of vulnerability, so what could be what will be about the clients? Okay, now phishing attacks are increasing very high ratio. That is the means pain of the market. That is the critical issue of in the cybersecurity, which is the 237% increase means yearly. Why? The reason is because that is the easiest approach, safest approach for them. And most of the people who are the users, end users, individual users, organizational level users, they are not aware. They try to open the emails, they try to sometimes open the attachment, they try to means click on the links and so on and so on. So this become an easier format or easier target for them to grab them. Now what happened? The means cost in the US companies from the Federal Bureau of the investigations, they said that the company's 12.5 billion is the company's cost from the 2013 to 2018. So we already discussed that even the government officials, they have the 15, White House has the 15 billion budget for this year for the cybersecurity, and that is increasing again and again. So now you can see again, we are coming with the malicious emails, phishing emails. So 86% of phishing email attacks are targeted to United States. So the first most important for the emails and the phishing attacks are which region is infected. That region is the United States region. And for the DDoS attack, which region is means infected, that is the region which is the most affected in this world, that is the China. So for particular attacks, we can say that for this particular attack, this is the region which is the most affected. 83% of your means InfoSec professionals experience about the phishing attacks. Means 83%. Only the 17% of the people they might be not knowing or might be not receiving about the phishing attacks, but the 83% of them they are receiving. So this is the highest source of the issues and the troubles. Now, what's the next? We may just go a little fast because these things are now coming on the only statistical things. That's fine. So the phishing is increasing. The 98 and 93% of the social incidents and breaches. Phishing is a source for the individual, for the organizations. That is the easy source. So we have to be careful. Even the security specialists, they are suggesting that in case if suppose you are receiving an email, if suppose you are not knowing the people, it is better that you may take care from opening the email. Or you either to have to verify, justify that this email is coming from the right source. Otherwise, you try to avoid that one. Now, what happened? We talk about the emails, we talk about DDoS, we talk about ransomware, we talk about IoT devices, everything. We talk about the servers. But when we come to the websites itself, 46% of the websites, they are actually having a very severity of the cybersecurity vulnerabilities. 46% is something huge. Even huge is a small word. You know that how many websites we have, how many domains we have. We cannot say that this is a number in billion. This number in trillion. We can say it's means very big number. So that big number, 46% of that big number of the websites, they are means vulnerable. So you can imagine that how much and from where you are means safe and secure. Now SQL injection and the cross-site scripting, they are increasing 38% because they are both of the ways through which they can access to the backend and they can do whatever the changes they are willing or wishing to do. Now, what is the means form jacking means which is compromise the websites 4818 websites monthly in 2018. The average number of the websites which are means compromised with the form jacking code. So form jacking code is another way which compromise your websites. So as I mentioned, if you remember that we just enlist a few of the attacks, which are the popular in frequency. But there are so many different type of the approaches and attacks are there. So we didn't mention them there. 2% of the web applications are suspected. You remember about the applications for the applications, those applications for the mobile app, we discussed about that most of the applications are actually means they are under attack, and they are the fake applications, and there are even the completely you remember we discussed about the Instagram app, the security app, and the battery charging app. So many apps are also as well. So this is the only part, but we are discussing about the website. So you can see in every part you can find these things. So 3% of your websites are still vulnerable to the different attacks and to the forgery. So you can see, imagine, like when we are saying that this percentage website is vulnerable for this attack, this much is for this attack, this much for this. Oh, so what could be the full and final figure? So you can imagine from this. So 75% of the LAN penetrations due to the web applications. So in your LANs, in your networks, it is happening in your penetrations because of your means the web applications as well. And so you can see, you remember last time we discussed that now you can do the one of the people was affected while he was means jamming attack. So he just charged his mobile phone at the airport from the USB, and then how he got infected. And you remember I told you that in this lab we will share with you the tutorial, video tutorial, and will explain to you so you can see that what you have learned in your penetration testing. So how he is using and how he is doing up to some certain level. The next what it is, the means only 2% of the IT budget is used for security. This is another reason that the hackers are getting success. One and first most reason is that the users are not trained. The second is that whatever the organizations they have their IT budget, they are using a very minimal amount, 2% amount for the security. So that's why it means exposed to the world. So they need to increase this budget. 70% of your employees don't understand cybersecurity. Now we're going back to the point number one, what we discussed. 70% of your employees, they don't know. Okay, even that what is cybersecurity. You know, because you are having the technical background, you are the student from the computer science. If you ask from those students, even from your university, who are in social science, who are in medical sciences, who are in other schools, maybe they will be not knowing. For sure, they will be not knowing about the attacks, but maybe they will not knowing about so many things. And if you just share with them these stats, they will be really out of their mind. So that's what they mean, that the 70% of the employees, they don't understand even the cybersecurity. They don't know even how to use the internet. The safe use is even far away, but they even don't know how to use the internet. 32% of the US companies failed to properly implement the SSL and TLS. So now where we understand, where we feel that these are the countries which are advanced in the technology. So see what is happening there. So now you can imagine the other parts of the world. So now then you can draw a big picture that what could be the results. 52.5% companies complain with the PCI and DSS. Okay, so means they are complaining about the payment card and security mechanism and credit card and things. They are having the issues. So you can see there are so many vectors in credit card and payments, in websites and malicious and vulnerabilities in apps, in servers, and there are so many attacks in IoT devices. So this is a very vast area. This is the reason that it means the number of the attacks are too much. Okay, 30% of the world's top websites are not secure even, which is the 30%. What are the 30%? 30% of the website will be very high in number. And what are the top websites? The few of the websites, he is giving us the name here. So ESPN, everybody's knowing, BBC.com, Wikipedia, and there are so many popular websites. They are unsecure. They contain the vulnerabilities and they contain so many things. Okay. Now, what is the next? The next is the 93% of the companies reports implementing password rules. Okay. So the rest of the companies, they are not implementing. So the conclusion is what? At the point number 80, we will come up to the conclusion. So you will see, so keep these points in your mind. Outdated and unpatched software are there. So 22% of the companies they having security issues because they don't have updated softwares. They have unpatched software that they are using. The previous point what it was saying, 93% of the means companies they are having issues for implementing the software standards. Password standards. 68% of the businesses they don't have cyber insurance coverage. You remember we said that the 6 trillion is the loss due to the cybercrime. That is the loss which is means those companies which are actually not having the insurance for that particular part. 68% don't have a disaster recovery plan. Globally, this is what we are discussing about globally. Organizations are there. If something happened to them, they don't have a disaster plan, how to recover. Going ahead, 45% of the companies have the uniform encryption strategy. I mean, they are using the same thing. Like what the people are using. What is your password? Your name 123. Hey man, this is not something correct. What the people are doing, like suppose they are not changing their passwords. So the most of the people they are using the same. What the people are doing, they are nowadays they are using so many services. They try to keep the same password for everything. This is not the right thing. So it's the same thing. These are the issues what the people are facing. These are the things which are making the cybercrime people means helping them actually. 73% of the companies have the minimum cyber security requirements for the vendors. So what is left behind? If 73% they don't have, they have very limited number. So nothing is left behind. Now, what it is, if we can say, happy to share the 95% of survey responded when they go for the survey responded from the end users. So they receive the number 95% of the people they mentioned that they are receiving. So you see from the 95%, even they got a success for 1% or 2% or 3% or 4% or 5%, it will be mean something very big for them. So what's the next? 95% of employees receiving training on spotting and avoiding phishing attacks is like 95% of the employees from the organizations. Okay, so this is the what we can call the issues. So what is the final thought? The final thought is now you understand that we need the good policies, we need the good trained users, we need to invest in the security budget, not only to the means IT budget, but not we may not use the 2% of the IT budget for the security, but probably we can use the major share of that budget for the security. So these all are the things, these are the references. So I mentioned with you, and this is the link is there. So you can go to this particular source or form, and you can try to subscribe yourself, and you will be able to receive very good latest information about the cybersecurity with time to time. And those all data are not on a survey base, but this is the real industry data. Thank you very much. If you have any question, so you are most welcome for that particular question. And meanwhile, we can go for that attendance. Thank you very much, Alia. Now we can stop this.